are officially recording. So this is a conversation about Video Note, the what, the why, the how, and how it is beneficial in your class, how you will be able to use it. But most importantly, also how to use it and the fast and easy ways to make this happen in your life. But I first wanted to kind of go over some things that are coming up in terms of other presentations. Right now, we are in our the what, the why, and the how for students and faculty. Tomorrow is an accessibility presentation through the LT and ITC with Sherry Wolf. She's new to campus and she's an accessibility expert. And then next week we have my 2 ID drop-ins and another Examity training. And next week also is the first day of classes. So before you panic on that, remember that you have made it to this point. Everything is okay, and we're all going to be okay, and we're all in this together. You are not alone, and we're going to make it. So don't stress too much. We're going to be fine. So there's some upcoming events. There's going to be some others that are posted soon. I know that Sheila is working on getting more things scheduled coming up after the semester starts. I hear we're going to have some book groups and all kinds of good stuff. So we are going to be here to continue supporting you after the semester starts too. So, but if you need something in particular, let us know or let Sheila know. She will make things happen because she's awesome like that. So Video Note, I want to first talk to you about why Video Note is so important. Video Note is so great because it is integrated directly into D2L, and you and your students will both be able to record short videos directly into D2L. You will not have to send students out to Flipgrid or any of the other things that you're using in order to get things recorded on multiple devices for use. The way that it's set up in D2L, anybody can record that is within the class and has the single sign-on, so all of your students and you, and it will on its own convert it from whatever that you use. It will do any kind of, and I'm going to try this again, see how it works. It will actually set itself to do the conversion. So if you use an Apple product, but nobody else does, nobody can see your stuff if it's recorded on Apple. If you use an Android product like me, everything I have is Android or PC, and you record something on any Apple device, I can't see it unless you go through the work of converting it for me. D2L will do that for you. So it is set to make that happen right there in that Video Note program. It also has auto captioning, which is awesome, and I will show y'all how that works when I show you in a little bit. It has auto captioning. One side note on that, we cannot edit the captioning yet. So just know that it's not going to be at 100% going into it, and you may want to make sure on that side note that students have an understanding of appropriate things to share on video and appropriate things to say. I would like to think that we don't need to have that conversation, but when you're recording a video, try to wear clothes and try not to say things you shouldn't in public. So just kind of keeping that in mind. So part of the reason that Tara and I and others are so excited about having Video Note in your class is the #1 way to create connection with your students and engagement is for them to be able to see you and you to see them. And those of you that have remote are going to, and web assisted and even traditional are going to be able to do that some in synchronous environments. People with online and hybrid may not have as many opportunities for that engagement and that interaction. So this program and this system allows for you to connect and connect right away with your students and how it is that you're going to be able to connect to them and connect and have that engagement with them We've talked during several of my presentations, and then I know during several other people's as well, about the community of inquiry. And a third of that community is the academic content, the things in your class. A third of that community is the faculty engagement and them interacting with you. Another third of that is the engagement with each other and engagement with peers. So having Video Note actually allows them to have that opportunity to engage with others. And it is so important to their learning to be able to engage with others, whether that be in informal settings, such as introduction discussions, or that be in more formal activities such as group work or presentations. These are really key and huge for the students to engage with each other. We learn so much from each other and each other's perspectives and each other's takes on different things that we're doing within the learning content, that it's just vital to our processing of information and growth as learners. And D2L Video Note really does set us up for that. So knowing that, I am going to tell you a little bit more about how Video Note works, and I'm going to tell you where to find some resources. We will send things out. The LT and ITC sent out some previous ones, and they will do it again for this one. Thank you, Sheila and Scott and everybody over there. So we will make sure that you get this recording as well as the D2L Video Note PDF. Within the MTSU online instructor certification class that several of you are in, it is a self-registration class, and you can just pop into it. We have started adding some of these presentations. When you kind of scroll down a little bit, they're in the Module 3 D2L Basics, Tools for Online Success, not part of OIC. So this is where some of the recent ones that we have been doing are hidden. They're not hidden from you, that's just where they are. But they're in self-registration, and if you ever have any questions about how to log into this class, please let us know, and we are happy to assist. And I totally forgot to mention that Tara, once again, is here, and she is in the chat, and she is here to help us with any chat questions that you all might have. So Video Note, within that third module in our MTSU Online Certification course, is a Video Note submodule, and in that is a PDF for D2L Video Note. This is a step-by-step process, little instructions. These are literally all the steps that you need in order to create a video note within D2L. It is these short steps, but this checklist is there for you. This is just the one-page breakout of the actual video note one. Within those D2L tools and tips for students PDF that we have sent out, it is in the remote instruction standards course. It is both in the course as well as in the template that you can copy over. It is also in this online MTSU online certification course. We can send it to you if you need it. It is available through teaching circles. It is available on the MTSU online website. It's available a whole lot of places, but if you don't have it and you need it, please just let us know and we will send it to you. But this, as well as all of our other how to use D2L resources from the student's perspective, are in that PDF and available for you right there. So this is just the video note one. So just know that this information is exactly the same for faculty as it is for students. How you set it up, how you record it, how you save it, all of those things are exactly the same for students as they are for faculty. Yes.
Well, how will the students know that? Do we need to send them this cheat sheet here, or is there something on their end that they have the instructions to know how to do this?
I would send them this cheat sheet. I would either integrate this page or in your initial instructions the first time they use Video Note, reference back to the tools and tips and that the video note instructions are in there. The biggest thing for students is that they need to know to hit the insert stuff button. It is very intuitive. And here in just a second, when I show you, y'all will see that. And students have been creating videos and uploading them to every kind of social whatever forever. And so it will be pretty clear to them, but the very first time you use it, I would encourage either linking to this document or to the D2L tools and tips as a whole, and letting them know that the instructions are in there, and that should help make that happen. But that's a great question. I encourage adding things like this into your instructions the first time you use them, anytime you can, because that will just help with questions that you might have. So I am going to quickly show you how to actually create a video note. And so I've created a discussion that is in this MTSU Online certification. It is one that is there so that if you are ever registered in this and you sign up for this, you will have access to you. This might be a great place for you to come and practice, because you will be able to get in and actually test a video note, and we are not going to come and judge you on it. It is just a place for you to practice without having to worry about deleting it back out of a class or how it embeds, or you'll be able to come in and actually see what it looks like. So I'm going to do one, and I'm going to show you what that looks like within discussion. And then I will also show you one within Dropbox. And then we are going to talk about some other ways that you will be able to use video note within your classes to really encourage some of that engagement and some unique and different things that you're going to be able to do in terms of activities and assessments now that we have video note capabilities. Hey, y'all are already testing. So we start a new thread. I can't type. Those of you that have been in these with me before know that. So this is my video test. When you hit start a new thread, it pops up the same way it would as if you were typing. Instead of typing, you hit the insert stuff button, which is the one on the far left in the dialog text box. It looks a little bit like the YouTube video arrow. So you're going to click on that. And this, an extra box pops up. And you will scroll down and click on the one that says add video note. And then your camera turns on, and this is what it looks like. It says record using webcam video or upload file. So if you have it recorded, you can upload it here. If you're gonna record using the webcam video, make sure that you are where you want to be. See, there's my bed back there with no dog on it, so it just looks disheveled. A couple of things to note on this page. It is a 30-minute maximum on this recording. My guess is most of you are not going to have 30-minute student video opportunities, so make sure in those initial instructions when you're talking about how to create a video note that you also tell them the specific length of time that you want your video note to be. So I would say for an introduction, like 1 or 2 minutes. If it's a brief presentation, maybe 3 to 5, but really limit them on how long they can go, because you don't need 150 people with 30-minute videos. So make sure that you're clear on that. To actually start your recording, simply hit new recording, and then you talk directly into your camera and you let it record you. And then when you are done with your recording, simply hit stop recording. New recording, and then you talk. So there you go. It shows up that fast. It's ready to go. All you need to do at that point is hit next. It does some converting. That's part of it, switching it from what's going on with my computer and how my computer works to setting it so that it will work within D2L. You would then title it. You can add a description if you want to or if you need to. This is not necessarily hugely important unless they are not able to view the video. So I'm not going to add one right now, but that's up to you, especially if you are using Video Note to do a brief welcome or like a little tip or trick or something that you are going to do in your announcements, because you can use Video Note in your announcements for quick announcements. So you're welcome to put something in there if you know it's going to just be something quick and easy. So I mentioned earlier that it auto captions. Here is where we auto caption. You can pick your language. I would encourage an MTSU to pick English, but if you are a foreign language faculty member, it may actually benefit you to caption it in another language. I'm going to automatically generate my caption and then hit next. Now, this is where it takes it just a second. It needs to actually update it and preview it. You do not have to wait for it to finish loading in order for it to insert into the class. You can continue clicking preview until it's ready if you want to, or you can just go ahead and hit insert. And there is our video. So that is exactly how it shows up in the dialog box. So if you want, you can add some typing before or after it if you feel like you need some sort of a sentence of introduction or watch my video about whatever it is that you're talking about. But the great thing about it is that that now exists. It is in there as a discussion post, and I am going to post it. And it is right there. So when you go in to look at it, or when your students go in to look at it, this is what it shows up looking like within the discussion thread. It is just a little box video. And when you click on it, do recording, and then you talk directly into your camera. And that is how it works. And that was a fabulous pause on my part. I'm very proud of myself for that. So that is how it works in discussion. It is that straightforward. So I'm going to show you within Dropbox a couple of things to think about if you are doing a video note for Dropbox. So within Dropbox, I'm going to just create a new folder because this is actually an important step. So when we create a new folder and you're going to only use a video note, or if you're using an ePortfolio link or something like that, this is actually a pretty helpful tip for you. I don't know if you've ever run into some of these problems, but if you are not requiring a file to be added, then there's a step in here that you're going to want to know about. So I am going to create this file. Record video notes here. Okay, so what's important on this one is we're creating this, and I wanted to create this folder so that I would remember to tell you this part. One step that it automatically is set to file submission. File submission actually requires you to attach a file. If you are doing just video notes, change that to text submission. And then they will only have to do the recording within the text box, and they will not have to add an additional file in order for the text box to save.
Can you say all that again?
Yes. So in a new folder, when you are creating a new Dropbox assignment, if you are only going to use video note, or they only need to share a link like to their ePortfolio or something like that, and they are not actually uploading a file, then you will want to change the submission type. It automatically comes up as file. You'll want to change it to text. And that allows them to have one of those dialog boxes and do a video note, or do a comment, or put a link to their ePortfolio, or any of those things like that. They can put that directly in that text box and are not required to add an additional file. I don't know if any of you ever have times that like if an e-portfolio is something they're submitting and they're having to add an actual file to get the e-portfolio link to attach, that's where that setting is. If you change it to text, all they have to do is send you the e-portfolio, or all they have to do is send you the video note. In my situation, I keep all submissions, and we're not going to worry about any of the other settings. And I'm just going to save and close and show you the video note. So it is right here. And I am going to quickly change myself to student. And this is going to back me out a little bit, so I'll get back to this pretty quick. But and I'm going to go to my Dropbox. And I'm going to go to video note, and I'm going to show you what the text submission looks like, and then how a video note works exactly the same way in the text submission of a Dropbox as it does discussion. So we would click on video note. So this is the part I kind of want to show you that's a little bit different. If you have file submission, where it says submit, there's an extra item that says attach or upload right above where it says submission. Because this one doesn't require a file, that's not there. It only has text submission. And then it works exactly the same way for creating a video note. We click on video note. We can add a new video note, or if we have any that are available, we could just simply add one. Now, because my last one that I created was not me as a student, it doesn't appear. But if you are in there as yourself, then you will be able to see ones that you have previously created, and you can actually add those video notes. So if you have a welcome that you save in video note, you can actually use it over and over and over again. You don't have to recreate it, or a tips and tricks, or whatever it is that you're doing. If you have quick little video notes like that that you're saving, you can just copy them over and save and upload them instead of recording a brand new one. So since I don't have any, I'm just going to record another really quick one. And here we have it. We are recording again, and it's got to be some weird stereo because I have multiple cameras and multiple sound. And here we have it. We are, there you go. Next. Going through those steps really quick again. I'm going to insert it. And once it is done with its transformation, it will appear right here. I'm going to hit submit. And that is my submission that would come to me as a student. Now remember, if you set it as file, they would get an error that did not allow them to submit, and they would have to attach a file. So if you do it as text, it automatically submits to you, and you would be able to see it. I'm going to turn myself off of student. Okay. So I see the chat going crazy over there. So in just a second, I will actually go into the chat and see if there's anything that y'all have any questions about. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That y'all have any questions about, or things like that as far as what I went over. But the first thing I kind of want to do just a little bit is talk to you about some ways that you could possibly use this in your class. So within your class, some quick and easy ways to consider this are your introduction discussion board. Right now, you probably have people typing their introduction, and it's 150, 200 words. Tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, what you're majoring in, a couple of things about you. Instead of them typing, this would be a great opportunity, because it's pretty low stakes, for them to practice video note and do a brief 1 to 2 minute video introduction of themselves for your course introduction. You could model the way with that. and do your own quick video introduction within that introduction discussion board or within your news announcements on your homepage. Because the great thing about D2L Video Notes is anywhere there is a dialogue text box, you can add a video note. So on my screen, you can see at the top, just under video note, where it says add dates and restrictions, and then it says add description. If you click on that, one of those dialogue text boxes popped up right there. So in your introduction, you could actually add a quick welcome. You could do this in every one of your module introductions. Instead of typing out introduction information, you could actually add a couple of minute brief introduction to the module of you saying, hey, this week we're going to talk about Video Note, and we're going to talk about how we can use that and how it applies to our course and our learning objectives. And you could touch on each of those and actually add a video note to all or some of your module introductions for each week of the class or module of the class. So it's a quick way for you to do that. And it's a great opportunity for students early, if you're doing it in introduction, to see you and see each other and begin building that relationship that I mentioned earlier is really important for student learning overall. So that is one way that you, well, it's actually two. That's two ways that you can use it. One is in your introduction and two is in news announcements. Another way that you could use it within the Dropbox or within discussions, actually either one. If you are a foreign language faculty member and you need to hear them practicing the foreign language for speaking purposes, they can actually record directly into D2L in that other language and upload it straight to their D2L Dropbox for that assignment, or within a discussion, either a group discussion or a course discussion where they practice introducing themselves, or they practice whatever activity it is for that week that they are learning. So if they're learning numbers and you want them to practice with each other or submit it to you, they could do that right there and record directly into D2L, and it'd be available for you to view and assess, or for them to communicate with each other back and forth. Another opportunity that you might have, if you are a speech and communications faculty member, this might be great for a 3-minute or 5-minute speech. If they're not going to be able to do those in class, they may be able to do them within Video Note and upload them to you within D2L. Now, sometimes you're going to want people to use Zoom and present to the whole class, but sometimes it's great for them to be able to do things that go individually to you and be able to do that. Or they can record quick 3 to 5 minutes within a discussion, and then especially if it's like a sales pitch in a business class or in a speech class, that they would then go in and listen to each other's sales pitch and vote within D2L as to who they would buy the product from, or what company they might give their patronage to, or potentially a philanthropic group that someone's trying to get donations to their group. That might be a way that they could go in and vote, hey, this was the best one, I would totally give my money to this group. So those are a couple of ways that you could do that. Presentations. Within presentations, Video Note does not allow you to screen share. So you would not be able to do a PowerPoint and then record over it the way that you do with Zoom or Panopto. But if they are showing an infographic that's printed, or they are modeling something, that would potentially work. Similar to in a science, math, chemistry class like that, you could actually have them record portions of a science experiment and upload that. and they could show you the steps of how things are happening within their experiments. So those are a couple of ways that someone could use Video Note. There are countless any ways that you can think of for student engagement. That's a way you could use Video Note in your class. So I am going to actually open up the chat now. I'm going to stop my screen share, and I am going to open up the chat. And
I think we've gone through most of the questions. I've tried. They were fast and furious there for a minute. So if I missed somebody, please tell me. But can you share your screen again and show them how easy it is to delete a video note?
Absolutely.
Because we've had a couple questions about that.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so to delete a video note, I'm going to go back into that discussion where I created the one earlier. So this is my test video note right here. It's the second one. So the way to delete the video note that I put in there is to simply delete it as a thread. That is the easiest way to do it once it has been posted. You click on the arrow that is to the right of the name of the thread that you posted and go to delete thread. It's going to ask you if you're sure you want to delete. I do. I'm hitting yes. My video note is gone. Now, if when you're recording your video note, you don't want to keep it, you don't have to. And I can show you that very quickly as well. Add a video note. Wait for my second camera to turn on. And then new recording. And it is recording, blah, blah, blah. New recording. And that is very strange, by the way. I know for y'all it is as well. So at this point, and you want to get rid of it, you simply hit cancel and it's gone. If you go in and record it and you add it, you actually go through the steps for it to add to your discussion, and then you decide you don't like it, you simply hit backspace or delete depending on your computer, and that would get rid of it from that dialog box. So you can get rid of them pretty simple. Once it is saved within your information, you can go back in and add them. So it should show you all of them. So here are the ones that I have created because it does save them within Video Note. So if I wanted to add one I had used previously, like I mentioned earlier that you could use ones if you can use them from section to section or class to class if there's a tip or something that you want to continue adding. So all you would do, just to go back and show you that, is click on that Insert Stuff button again. Go to Video Note Search. If you actually know the name, you can type the name in or just hit search. And then all of them that are within that will show up. You pick one, you hit next, you insert, and that one is now available in my discussion. And all I have to do is post it. And that is one that is previously recorded. I mean, it was previously recorded like 5 minutes ago, but it's previously recorded. We added it in there. It's ready to go within the discussion. And you can do that anywhere there is that Insert Stuff button.
Can the faculty member, one of the questions we also have is, as a faculty member, if they don't want to delete the entire thread, can they delete a specific student's note?
So
like in a discussion.
Oh, if somebody replied and they wanted to, like if I replied to.
Right, so if you could, can you go in and say if there's a thread going on and there's 4 or 5 videos, but there's one specific video out of that thread you want to delete? Can you delete that specific video?
So yes, it's the same. You can delete the individual post. I had to give you a post so that I could show you.
Okay.
But yes, when it is in the thread, you don't have to delete the whole thread. But yes, it is possible to go in and delete an individual post the same way. You click on the arrow to the right of the person that you need to delete the post, and that pop-up box comes up and you can scroll down and delete the post.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another faculty member asked if you could show the Dropbox student video, but in your instructor view rather than in student view.
I can. And I just went through that without even talking about it. So let me go back and do that again. Sorry about that. I'm like, what? Y'all are just watching and that's not going to help later. So from your Dropbox, you'll go down to Video Note, click on that little arrow, view submissions, and then click on the submissions tab. And this is my submission. So that is what it will look like within your Dropbox when you go to grade it. If you had a rubric associated with it, it would be right there. And you would be able to grade that rubric right alongside the video as you are watching it. And I'll click it, so because I know y'all miss these fun videos. So I'll click it. And here we have it. And there you go. That is what it does within your Dropbox as a faculty member when students submit a video note. You can grade your rubric right here. You can add your feedback right here and then publish it, and it's ready to go.
You can also, if I might add to that, when we were talking about dialog boxes and anywhere there's an insert stuff button, it's a great idea to increase your social presence and your instructor presence. If you give written feedback that's targeted, but then you can do a very short video note in this general feedback box that says, you know, something general to the student about reading their feedback, their targeted feedback, reach out if they have questions, etc. It kind of gives them a double layer of engagement that way.
Yes. And it's the same box. It's the same insert stuff. So it's really helpful. What other questions do you all have?
Someone asked about the groups, and I didn't see an answer on that, but if they're working in a group, does the insert work the same? Can you show that? Do you know what I mean? Like if they're working on a group project and the group is posting a video.
Yes.
And so it populates within all the group members or no?
So within, I don't know that I have any groups set up in this class.
Sorry, I was asking the question whether can this be posted on the discussion platform instead of on the Dropbox. That means under the communication, if we start an online a discussion post, can this be used on the discussion post?
Yes. Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes. So for like if you actually wanted to, because it's about dialogue boxes, you could actually, instead of putting instructions in here, you could actually do a little video note as your welcome to the discussion board, instead of typing the instructions if you wanted to. And then within groups, when you have group, everybody within that group would see it. Each post would happen individually. There's not a process within Video Note that multiple people can share on the same video note, because it's meant for an individual submission, but your group could video note discuss with each other. Depending on what they're doing, there may be other ways that are more useful for them, and they'll find some of those ways to communicate with each other. But if you have something that you want each one of them to participate and submit as part of the requirements for their group discussion, everybody within that group discussion will be the only ones that see it within the group. Well, you and the students within the group would see each of those individual posts. I hope that answered that question.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Someone wanted to see if you could show them what the auto captions look like.
Oh yeah, because they should actually be.
Right, they should hopefully have shown up now.
They should be. Okay. Do recording, and then you talk directly into your camera, and you let it record you. And then when you are done with your recording, simply hit stop. So there you go. They show up at the bottom, and they're not bad. I mean, they're not 100%. So if you've got somebody that needs accommodations, you might need to work on some of those things. But they're really not bad. And mine have gotten better since we've turned on video notes. So I suspect that means we have some AI behind it that is helping it learn as we go.
Can you show us how you would go in and edit if the caption is incorrect?
You cannot edit captions in video note yet.
So if it's not correct, then what?
Yep.
Thanks, Kim.
So yeah, it's gonna be close. It's not too bad. That one only had one that looked like it was not quite right. And that's part of why you're also not necessarily going to want to use video note for lecture. You're going to want to use Panopto or Zoom Cloud with audio recordings that have opportunities for you to go in and edit the captions. And so part of that too is to be aware of that and potentially have that conversation with your students about what that looks like. And to make sure you're clearly speaking and being appropriate with what your words are and things like that. But also know that sometimes incorrect words will sneak through. You're not likely to have any, it's not going to produce profanities. So you don't need to worry about that, but it may hear words that are not quite right. So it will be that instead of it saying, okay, my favorite is one of my captioning swears that every time I say MTSU online, that I am saying empty sushi line, which really makes me just want sushi, but it says it almost every time. So it's because I don't enunciate my MTSU well enough. I just say MTSU online. So it thinks that I'm saying empty sushi line. That is not the end of the world if my caption in my quick little video note says empty sushi line instead of MTSU online. Those are the kind of errors it's going to have. If you have someone in your class that has accommodations, there are additional resources through the DAC that will be available, and the student likely has a screen reader as well. But that would have to be something that you, as you get to those, you deal with those. So it's really, for you, I would encourage a Panopto or a Zoom that you can go in and edit for lectures, for quick little, hey, here's my 15-second little pop. It may not be as important because if it's a 15-second little pop, you can actually add that to the description that was in there when I said add a description here if you feel like it's needed. That's where you would add that little description that says, hey, this is what we talked about. And it will actually give the typed information right there.
Kim, is it possible to, for video note to record what's on your computer screen, or does it actually need your camera?
It's just your camera. Well, it needs a camera. So you could, I guess, if you have a webcam that's detached, you could take it and turn it and do it that way. But no, it is only for the camera itself.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kim, is there a limit right now on the length of class that is going to be recorded? In summer, I couldn't record more than an hour and a half of 3-hour class, so I had to divide my file into two.
Oh, for like Panopto or Zoom?
Yes, for Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, those are still, those still have the same caps on them. And Video Note is capped at 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, question.
Sure.
Very basic. To get to that screen that you had at the beginning, Video Note, if I've signed into D2L, what do I do to get to that screen?
Sure. I will show y'all that very quickly. This is my D2L homepage. Clearly, I have an email
Okay.
that I need to check later. This is my D2L homepage. Across the top, there's one that says self-registration. When you click
Okay.
on self-registration, you will want to click on the one that says MTSU Online Certification. That is where the online instructor certification course is embedded, but it is also where a whole lot of our other resources and trainings and developments that are available for faculty is also in that same class. So once you have registered for it the first time, when you register, it will let you go straight to the class without going back to the beginning. But if not, then when you go back to your homepage, you'll either want it on all, or development is actually probably a better option because you'll have fewer classes to choose from within development. So once it shows up, it is, for me, it's this third one right here. It's the MTSU Online Certification class. And when you click on that, the MTSU Online Certification course comes up. It has lots of information in it. And specifically telling you this is not the Remote Instruction Standards course. But within that, when you click on content, it takes you, for me, I was on Video Note last, so it goes to the last thing that you were on. But it is under Module 3, D2L Basic Tools for Online Success, not part of the OIC. And then underneath that is the information about creating and using checklists. So in case anybody wants to know how to use those, that was a presentation we did last week. And then here is the one for Video Note. When you click on that, it just opens it up to the screen. And here are the resources for that. We will post the recording from this presentation in here, so it will be there as well. And we may stick that D2L tools and tips in here too, so that it's just in one more place for y'all to get.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that PDF is downloadable, right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. Sorry. Yes, it is. And we'll make sure all the other ones are in there so that they're easy to download too. Anybody else got questions? We still got a couple minutes left. Okay. I think we're good.
Well,
Okay.
Kim, I have a question that's not related directly to Zoom. If we do it from home, what would be the minimal parameters for the internet itself for it to be stable? I regularly have problems both at around noon and at around midnight that it just dies, or at least it becomes very slow.
Midnight is probably because that's when D2L does a pretty big update and it pulls information in that may have been stored overnight. So that's probably what's happening at midnight. Noon may just be because everybody is on at about that time. So you may want to try to test for times that have fewer people. But Video Note doesn't need a whole lot of bandwidth for it to work, because you're not trying to produce a award-winning video production. It's pretty basic in its capabilities. So it really doesn't tend to take much. And I get the internet issue. It happened to me at what, 2:01 today. So
Right at the very beginning.
Right when we were getting started and my internet said, no, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Uh-huh.
And thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.